All right, hello and welcome to the Shop I channel. Thank you so much for joining us. With me here, I'm with my friends. We're going to analyze the build-up for the match between the Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates, hosted down in Durban, Moses Mabhida Stadium. Jens, I'd like you to introduce yourself to our viewers at home. I'll start with Neo. Can you please introduce yourself to our viewers at home?
What about Petsu? Go by name of Neo Topos Poscaneo, Kaizer Chiefs faithful at heart, proud Kaizer Chiefs supporter after Saturday's game, as much as the result says otherwise. But nonetheless, I'm happy to be here with, again, our esteemed panelists that I'm happy to learn their insights in this game.
Thank you so much, Neo. Iniesta, can you please introduce yourself to our viewers at home?
Sure, my brothers. My name is Ezekiel Iniesta Maupi. Yeah, Iniesta. I'm a football journalist and also say effect.
So off your age. I don't know.
He's a grandchild of the soy is this one.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Iniesta. Matume, can you please come in?
Good evening to you, my brother, and good evening to the panelists and to the subscriber. I'm Matume Pecha from Raleigh City branch, Mamelodi Sundowns fan, original from Matox. Thank you.
Thank you, Matume. Will you please introduce yourself, Ramahlatse?
Okay, my name is Mahlatse Mphahlele. I'm a sports journalist with Times Live. It's nice to be here. I hope you guys take it easy with me. Don't be too harsh.
No, thank you so much, Ramahlatse, and it's an honor to have you in our channel today, and to the gents, Mr. Ramahlatse, you know him as Ramahlatse Mphahlele. He's one of the top journalists that we have, in the PSL, and also Iniesta Maupe, one of the journalists that we have. You are welcome to also ask questions if you want to ask them any questions. Otherwise, we are here to analyze and to build up, to the much anticipated Soweto Derby. As you know, we see this is so-called the second leg of this big encounter. Tibos, please introduce yourself to our viewers at home.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Tavo Soroka from Rodport. Please call Wilfredon. I'm just a soccer-loving person. Orlando Pirates fan, but I love soccer. I love watching soccer. I love talking soccer and listening to other people. I feel like, today you are blessed. You've got football royalty in the Mahlatse and Mr. Iniesta. I was asking myself, where do I know Mr. Mahlatse from? But now it comes to him. I thought I knew him from a soapy. Yeah, almost starts. So I feel so honored to be in the presence of all of you guys, Matume, Raneo, Iniesta, and our honorable guest. In fact, our honorable host, Mapalo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I must say, before Mapalo continues, he has been chasing me for a while. We just couldn't align, but I said, if I don't come tonight, he's gonna say this guy doesn't want to come onto my show. So I've dropped everything. I'm here.
Thank you so much.
My brother, we come a long way.
Oh, thank you so much. We really honored here. Let me just start with you, Ramahlatse. What can we expect, this coming Saturday at Moses Mabhida? We know today, we are recording this on Monday, and the tickets were released at 10 o'clock, and then there were hustlers there and there. They couldn't continue to sell them. What can you tell us and our viewers at home, Wuti, what is that we can expect out of this cup final?
Yeah, I guess the one thing that you'll never go wrong with when it comes to the derby, is excitement. I mean, I don't know when was the last time we had a Soweto Derby final, let alone just a so-called usual football match. The people with the tickets today had to release a statement that the website crashed because it just shows you the interest that people have in this match, which augurs well for the occasion. A lot of people have sort of had different views about the occasion itself over the last few years. Got different views about the quality of the football that is usually dished out at the Soweto Derby. But regardless of whatever type of football you get from the match, it remains possibly the biggest sporting event on our calendar. I think anything that comes remotely close to the Soweto Derby will be Springbok New Zealand or Proteas India in cricket. So it's one of those big matches where there will always be huge interest. And once in a while, we are lucky to have a very good football match. It doesn't usually happens. As we sort of saw even over the weekend, it was pretty much a tentative football match, not one of the classics, but still the full stadium sometimes creates sort of lift the players to produce something. So I think to answer the question, another full house at Moses Mabhida in Durban. And I'm just praying that these boys have good breakfast and they give us a beautiful football match, because at the very least the fans, the football lovers, we deserve a good spectacle, which does not usually happen when it comes to these two teams when they meet. But yeah, I'm expecting a very, very good football match.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahlasi. All of us, are anticipating, a very, very good match. And, you ask a question, which like, when last did we experience this, such a cup final? I remember 2014, Kaizer Chiefs beat Orlando Pirates at Moses Mabhida, with that head, Mashamaite, a lot of people, were excited, to be there. And since now it's 10 years since Kaizer Chiefs hasn't, tasted any victory in terms of domestic cups and the league, it's going to be an exciting one, and I'm looking forward to it myself. And yeah, Iniesta, can you please, come in there? What do you expect to see on Saturday?
Yeah, obviously we're gonna expect a good game of football from both sides. Remember the last time the team played Orlando Pirates, they were victorious, they won 2-1. So I think Kaizer Chiefs will come back strong, definitely. We also expect a good atmosphere. We know Moses Mabhida never disappoint when it comes to hosting cup finals. The sold out, even though the PSL didn't release the statement so far, but I believe it's almost sold out capacity. So I think it's going to be a good game of football. Remember, as I've said, the last time those teams played, Orlando Pirates introduced more than 7 youngsters in the team. The likes of Amos Leb, he came as a sub. The Chico Melons, we know how got, and also President Damatuke, William Mufugay. Obviously, with the senior players coming on, Makaula, I also believe the likes of DC will be back in the team, the likes of China. I think Pirates, they have a good squad. So we're going to see a good game of football from both sides. Obviously, Kaizer Chiefs, it's been 10 years since they won a trophy. So I think they'll come strong. I think the likes of Miguel, he will be back in the squad. The likes of Abo Chabutra, he might start coming the weekend. So it's going to be a good game of football, as I've said. But definitely, remember the last event for Jose Rivero, the Spanish mastermind for Orlando Pirates. His last derby for Rivero. So, and remember, he won 5 since he came to Orlando Pirates, which level 1 coach Stuart Baxter 5/5. So I think he did very well since he came to Orlando Pirates. Definitely, go back to our question. We expect a good atmosphere at Moses Mabhida. I don't think Moses Mabhida will disappoint. Yes, we'll see a lot of numbers at the stadium. So may the best team win on the weekend.
Thank you so much, Iniesta. It's going to be I really can't wait for this one. Thabo, you just won your game in this past weekend 2-1. Do you think that match or that those results will have a psychological impact in terms of, like, de-stepping or maybe trying, to motivate, the players, both sides? Do you think there will be that, psychological impact in the teams?
Yeah, definitely for both sides.
Yeah.
For Chiefs, it's a must win for Kaizer Chiefs because of the trophy drought. Because of 7 matches now, they have not won any match, including the Betway. The coach is under pressure. And looking at him, and I think the other on Saturday, he walked out of a press conference because of the pressure that comes with the big club that he's coaching at. So for me, and Pirates may have a point to prove. They have to say thank you to the coach before he leaves and give him the trophy, and do it also 3 times in a row with Nedbank. So both teams, they have, it's like, if I can put it this way, Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates are a blessing to South African football because they always keep us on our toes. They always keep us talking. They always keep us fighting. They always keep us laughing. They always keep us sad in most cases. So this game on Saturday, for me, there will never be a game like this in South African derby. And I think as football lovers, we're actually blessed to witness this type of a game on Saturday, whoever wins it. And the people who are also going to be there at the stadium, that's why the website crashed, because everybody was just waiting to see when that thing goes on. You are on your browser already. You are already clicking and wanting to buy. You are ready with your online transactions. But it's going to be a very, very, very interesting game, and both teams. Now I feel there's not going to be a underdog or an overdog, or everybody there is going to have to prove a point, because both teams, as I said, are on a, especially Chiefs. Chiefs is on a knife edge, because if they don't win this game on Saturday, I don't know. And I feel that it's going to be unfair for the fans of Kaizer Chiefs going all the way to the final and then losing it at the last end, But also Pirates also needs to give Rovero a goodbye and say thank you for everything you've done for the team. I think Iniesta mentioned the fact that he has given 6 young men a chance to shine and to blossom, and he has kept his players in a way where you find that Rivero is not afraid to play a player. He's not afraid to give a player a chance and keep on supporting that player. If you remember, as I said before the other day, Mahopa, when he started, Orlando, they were booing him, if you remember very well.
Yeah.
Otto, they were booing him, if you remember very well. Tugamanja, they were booing him, if you remember very well. Dlamini was being booed. But all of those players today, they are prominent players who win matches for Orlando Pirates. So I think that for me, he will. If he wins, he does deserve the trophy. But at the same time, our neighbors, even if we can laugh and joke about it, for me, it's not fair to find yourself 10 years such a big club without a trophy. But at whose expense? If they were playing against Sundowns or Golden Arrows or any other team, I would be really rooting for them and supporting and praying for them and saying, no, they should take the cup. But now, unfortunately, they are playing against their father. So it's a difficult one.
Yeah. No, thank you so much, Tavo. This one is a difficult one. Now, since 1970, if we can go to the history books, these two teams have been, on the loggerhorns each and every time when they meet. It doesn't matter which is a friendly match or what. And they've played more than 100 games, all in all. what do you think will make this particular derby, to be more outstanding, or what makes it what will make it different from other sort of derbies that we have witnessed?
Oh, thanks, Mabo. Look, I think first and foremost, the fact that the build-up to this cup final was an actual Soweto Derby, which stakes were high, especially for Orlando Pirates in the sense that after dropping points to Sekhukhune, they knew that they really have a big mountain to climb in terms of catching up, as the saying goes, that points in hand. I mean, games in hand doesn't mean points in hand. So coming into this derby, they were under the cuff, and I guess through their luck of their own, they managed to prevail and snag all 3 points. And I think that's the one thing that it's already a great talking point. Already people are talking about the past game, but already looking towards this tantalizing final coming up this Saturday. And I was looking at, as you mentioned now, about the game, the last final that we had, the Soweto Derby, and Kaizer Chiefs managed to snag it. I even went even further back into 2010, where it was the Telkom knockouts on the 4th of December, and they won 3-0. And if you look back into that time, it does still feel like as if history is low-key repeating itself, because again, Orlando Pirates were looking like the stronger side. Kaizer Chiefs were the ones who were, deemed as underdogs, and then they went on to win 3-0. So, it was one of those, history-making things that, one would be hopeful as a Kaizer Chiefs fan. Will it happen again? But, life is not a fairy tale, unfortunately. Life is not a fairy tale. And I think both teams are looking towards the fairy tale ending. As Thabo mentioned, one, a great send-off to the coach, but on the other side, after a long drought, can they finally snag it? Unfortunately, now, because, again, this fairy tale is up there on our lips, then that's why we find ourselves in a situation where we're going to see a grueling cup final, because the stakes are higher. It's not like as if it's just a final where neither team didn't need this cup. So definitely something that's we're going to be looking towards and talking up for a very long time. I think till the next season, this will be a talking point. And yeah.
Thank you so much, Neo. You reminded me of the days of Musona, back then, where Musona scored. I think he scored a brace on that first game, and then Shabalala also in the second game he scored the goal, and also Stembison was scored. It was within a space of two weeks, and we are now going to witness something like that this week. Madume, please come in there. We've seen Kaizer Chiefs, this past weekend, they scored in the first 2 minutes. And for the first time we've seen, Kaizer Chiefs trying to dominate, Orlando Pirates in the first 15 minutes until Makopa scored that goal. I've seen them, Kaizer Chiefs, trying, by all means, to win all the balls, but they couldn't use them going forward. Instead of going forward, they would, pedal and go back and try, to shine. And I've seen also Shabalala trying to shine there, back heel didn't work, and then which led to that goal by Makopa. How do you think Kaizer Chiefs should approach this match? Or in fact, both the teams should approach this match as we know, which sometimes they'll be scared of playing an open game. Do you think they should just play an open game, or maybe they should just hold back and come with counterattacks?
Thanks, Mr. Mo. I think it will be exciting. This one, it will be different from the previous one, league. Yeah. This one, Chiefs will attack from the minute go. And then this one, I don't think they will play cowards football like the one that they played before, where they play without a striker. This one, they will come with a striker. Although I still believe they will make a major changes. Even the goalkeeper, I see the Peterson will come back, because they always play better when you play against Pirates. And then Vuma is being struggling with these goals considered, even if it's not his fault, but some of things is under pressure. I think the coach will change from the Miguel will come back and the Vuma will come back. And then things from the Pirates side, I still believe that the Pirates will play their normal football as they always do. They attack as they always attack. Mara Chiefs this time, because of its hungry. Even their supporters are more than hungry. I don't know if the players are more serious than supporters, but I think they are also hungry as the players. I think they will approach it in a way that they want to win it. It will be a tough game, I know, but I think they will try to win it because it's been a long time, and they also want to make an history because it's been a long time without Chiefs going to final. More than 10 years for a big team like Kaizer Chiefs. It's uncalled for.
Yeah, thank you, Madume. Ramahlaze, you can maybe add on what our panelists have said, but then on top of that, just tell us which are those players that you think are going to be key players in both the teams.
Yeah, actually, when I moved away from the screen, I was picking up the team list from the weekend, and I think starting with Chiefs. Maybe before I go there, it's just to sort of add that the Soweto Derby always has got all this stuff around it, a lot of talk and hype and noise and all these things. But for the players, at the end of the day, a football match still needs to be played. It talks to preparation. It talks to sort of the senior players on the training ground, helping the younger players. There's quite a few younger, inexperienced players from both sides. Though they may have played the Soweto Derby before, but definitely they've not played the Soweto Derby of a final. It's quite a different ball game. So it's going to be important from both sides as to how the senior players sort of talk to the younger guys and calm them down, because there's going to be a lot of pressure on these young players. Also the experience of the coaches, that also comes in handy. As I said, there's going to be a lot of noise around this occasion, and it's something which needs careful. It needs to be handled with care from behind the scenes to make sure that the players are at ease. Is that if you manage to do that, part of the battle is won already, because then we'll have a very, very good camp. We always hear stories from players that in the week of the Soweto Derby, everybody wants to play. Sometimes it can even get to a point where they kick each other to training because the guy who's playing my position, I don't want to play, but I want to play. It's those things. So if you really have a camp that is united, that is good, stuff like that won't happen. I think looking at Chiefs, I really, really anticipate that Miguel will probably come back. You need a calm head there. I looked over the weekend. Quinica, for me, he just doesn't cut it for me for a big club like the Chiefs. I don't think he's good enough to play for Chiefs. He's an average player at best, but that's what they have. So sometimes when you don't have certain players who are coming back from injury, you have to persist with guys like that. But I just don't see him, him play. Maybe I anticipate that the coach will have to reach up for the defense, obviously, because of the red card to Bradley Cross. I don't know how he's going to navigate around that one. Maybe Machia need to come back or what, I really don't know. Dove, his experience has been there. Maybe you can sacrifice Dylan Solomons, but the one player who I'm quite positive will come back will be Ignacio Miguel at the back. And looking at the midfield, I think also he may be tempted to make changes there. And I just feel maybe, which will be unfortunate really, that the casualty may be Mdu with Kele coming back. They'll just have to find the right balance as to how he balances that midfield. Or even maybe Ngozi Mpile Ngobo. I really don't know how he's going to do that. But the two players that I think should come back to add stability and a little bit of experience for Chiefs will definitely be Miguel and Pele. But exactly as to for who, I really don't know. And obviously for Chiefs, there must be a change as to who's going to place Cross. So maybe a minimum of 3 changes or even more, depending on how they analyze Pirates again from what they saw over the weekend. Pirates are pretty much a settled side where you really don't see them making too many changes. And they'll probably go with the same squad. Maybe yeah, they'll probably go with the same squad. The person who surprised me in the squad for last match was Bandile Shandu. But if we look everywhere else here, these guys have been playing week in, week out, so I don't anticipate too many changes there. So I think Pirates, they are very much settled, and they just need to continue what they've been doing. But knowing Kaizer Chiefs in a high stakes match like this, Chiefs are always dangerous when it comes to high stakes, and also looking at what is really at stake for them. If Chiefs doesn't win this match, there may be serious repercussions at the end of the season. I can actually see them panicking, maybe going to the extent of firing a coach, which will be very, very disruptive. Pirates, obviously, we know the guy is leaving. They'll have to find a new coach and all those kinds of things. But from Pirates, I don't really see too many changes. I think they're a settled side. The two players who have not played much, who played in the last match, is Pasika Marco and Bandile Shandu. But most of the guys are the guys who have been there. So yeah, those are the changes that I think maybe they might happen for the weekend.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mahlatsi. To those who haven't subscribed, please just click the subscribe button and help us reach 20,000 subscribers. And thank you to everyone who have been showing the support, and we really appreciate it. Sorry?
I've subscribed.
Well done. There you are. You'll see yourself. Thank you so much, Mahlatsi. Iniesta, Mahlatsi said something in terms of like the surprise, starting lineups and all that, I didn't know I didn't anticipate to see Tito not on the bench or maybe in the starting lineup. Boshan coming in, and we have seen how Jose, how clever he is in terms of like his technical, movements. You have seen Uti Epo has been used, on the right wing, and he has been coming heavy on Marco, and he substituted him. Then when he took Hoto to the left back, they started, playing, good football that we saw them win that match. According to yourself, the way you saw that match, in terms of Lilepo and Pule Moody, do you think they are played in their right positions at Kaizer Chiefs or what? I'm asking this because I would see sometimes Pule Moody, going to play at the left back, with Cross being the left back. Also, I could see which like there was a confusing somewhere there, and I could also see because we're trying to call Pule Moody, which come back and all that. What can you tell us about those movements?
Yeah, Mapolo, I think most of the players at Kaizer Chiefs, they are being played out of positions. I remember I also a tweet somewhere from one of my seniors saying some players are being overhyped. So I think
that's one good thing to see the trouble.
Yeah, definitely some players and even some coaches that are being hyped, to be honest. Personally, I think Coach Nazruddin Nabi, before going to your question, Mapolo, I think Coach Nazruddin Nabi is one of the best coaches in Africa. But personally, for Kaizer Chiefs, I don't think he's the right man to lead Kaizer Chiefs to the green pastures. I know if I was in the press, you were going to fight me for this one, but definitely, I think he's playing most of his players out of position. I think definitely Nebo. I think the guy is a natural number 9. He can score a lot of Kaizer Chiefs if he plays as a number 9. And obviously, sometimes you see Pule Moody being played as a left back. Now, sometimes number 10, sometimes as a winger. So we don't know, but I definitely believe the guy is a winger. He can even play as a number 10. Just that the coach is playing the players out of position. Most of the players at Chiefs, I think there might be some favors then there. The last time we saw Yusuf Mark being played as a right back, and Kaizer Chiefs, they have a lot of right back. So I don't know what's happening. Even on the weekend, I thought the coach will introduce Mashian in the second half. Remember, Cross was playing with the yellow card, and we can see Orlando Pirates right winger the young boy Kokumelon Hangota was coming every time to cross. So I thought the coach will sacrifice cross before he even got the red card. But definitely, coach he just ignored that. And going back to Tito, I believe is still injured. I'm not sure what's happening for now. I believe my senior will tell us. Check or what's happening there. But definitely, we know Jose Rivero, he will surprise a lot of people coming to the next game in the Cup tournament. We saw the last time they played, he introduced the likes of our Bandile Shandu. No one thought Bandile was going to play. So, coach is full of surprises. I think even on the final, I think we'll see the new faces on the team. As I mentioned, the young slab, he might even start because I think the coach wants to leave a beautiful legacy there at Orlando Pirates Football Club, as he has done. So, because we saw he introduced the likes of our Mohawi Gota. No one never thought Mohawi will play for the Orlando Pirates senior team. I know the boy is very talented. Even Shelby and Bogan, I think he did very well since he has been introduced to the senior team. So, big up to Coach Jose Rivero for introducing those Kokomelos boys. And also going back to Kaizer Chiefs Football Club, I also believe, yes, there and there, coach, credit to Kaizer Chiefs coach Nazareth now before the mentality he brought into the guys. But when it comes into playing on the field, I don't think they are playing the Kaizer Chiefs style of play, definitely. But the mentality, you can see a good mentality on the guys. But the philosophy and the culture of the remember the Kaizer Chiefs of Ted Dimitri 2003 and 4 season 2005 and 6. You can see those guys they were playing for the bench of Kaizer Chiefs, but for now I don't see those things happening at Kaizer Chiefs Football Club. But definitely the cup tournament, Kaizer Chiefs is full of surprises when playing cup games. As I've mentioned, it's been 10 years for Kaizer Chiefs. I think the team will come strong. We'll see obviously the new lineup. I believe the coach, I don't think the likes of Abu Mashiani will start. I believe coach will play Dapo as a left back and he will also bring back Miguel there at centre back. I think he will partner with Tilika. You know, Tilika is one of the senior players at Kaizer Chiefs, but I believe playing for Kaizer Chiefs, I even saw he was wearing a band in the last 20 minutes of the game. The time the sub Mar. So I think definitely he will start. And obviously, as my senior mentioned that he believes Solomon needs to be rested. I think when it comes to big games, Solomon is not there. Like totally, the big games are big for Solomon's the coach plays. So yeah, coming to the weekend, but it's a cup tournament. We see surprises. I see Kaizer Chiefs taking this one, guys. I know it's not easy, but I see Kaizer Chiefs surprising a lot of people.
Thank you so much.
Just another thing on Chiefs. I strongly feel that Lilebo should be played more as a number 9. He can play, and also he's a threat when it comes to aerial balls. And he's got an eye for goal. He can, if the supply is good, he can play. And also, if you are going to play a player like that, obviously the style of play needs to be adjusted a little bit, which means there's going to be a lot of crossing into the box to find him, and then he can finish. And another weapon that they have, and I've always said it repeatedly, that they are not, I just don't think that even the previous Chiefs coaches have really found a way of how they can use Ashil Dupre. Ashil Dupre is a very, very dangerous footballer. You just need to find the right way to use him, because if you are going to have a tall guy inside the box, then you are unlikely going to play through the middle like the way probably Sundowns play, where they put balls together and then they attack you like that. You may vary your stuff a little bit, go to the side, put in a cross. I know fans will probably wouldn't like football like that, but it's something that can work in the interim while you are trying to find your way around issues, because at the moment things are just not happening for them, So I still feel that he's a 9. Modi, more maybe not quite an Obrimdiwa kind of a player, but more on the left, cutting inside. he's very comfortable on the ball, and he can receive and take people on and cut in and you know, when you vary your stuff, when you don't want to go to the corner and put in a cross, he can play with Yusuf Mat, can play with or Tele or Castillo or Mato, whoever will be there at that particular time. It's just an issue of varying stuff around. On the coach, the Chiefs' problems are sort of just a combination of a lot of things. You can start from the management. Even though the management this time around, I think they have really tried to bring in the players. The players that they've signed really showed a little bit of a statement of intent. They brought in the players. Gaston Serino today in the press conference says something very interesting, that the players must take responsibility, because at the end of the day, they are the ones who are there and who are doing the job. So it's just an issue of go there and try and win this final and really start planning for next season now. Whether the coach will be there or not, I'm sure if they win the cup, surely the coach will be there. There wouldn't be strong grounds of firing a guy who just won a cup, even though anything is possible. But he will have a second president. You know, he will have a better understanding of the league. He will definitely be consulted as to who leaves, who stays. I just have a feel that if they have enough money, they can bring few quality, and then a lot of these players will leave, because, as I've said earlier on, just probably half of this year's players don't deserve to play for Kaizer Chiefs, if we are to be honest. The other issue is that I've always questioned this to say, how strong is the Chiefs scouting on the continent? Because you know, if Chiefs win Nedbank, it means they're going to play Conference Cup. Conference Cup also is increasingly becoming a very, very difficult tournament, because of the caliber of teams that plays there. The sort of the best teams on the second best team of the continent go there, and to be able to be competitive there, you need strong West Africans. The spine of the team must be very good. And the Champions League has showed us over and over again that if you want to do well in the Champions League, also you can check with Pyramids now. You need one or two strong West African players to be who can be able to navigate around the difficulties of traveling on the continent. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But you know, if they win this thing, it will calm things down a bit. There will be excitement. But obviously, that excitement does not mean they must go to off-season and relax. There's a lot of work that they need to do, because you need to recruit properly. And also, I just feel or hope that they've got a plan of how are they scouting on the continent, because you really need a few more clothing levels who can come in with quality, because the guy, from what I've seen, is a player of substance.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Bramatlatse. Steve, Bramatlatse and Iniesta have mentioned coach Kaizer Chiefs coach Nabi, you know, in terms of like the style of play and maybe his future and all that. I've realized something, you know, with him in the past games, even this past 2-1-1. When there's an injury or if there's a stoppage, you would see the opponent players who they will, you know, regroup and go to their coach. Either maybe if they don't go all of them to their coach, they would be, you know, with themselves there, you know, 4 or 5 of them regrouping and talking and all that. But with Chiefs, I've never seen that happening. I'll take you back to this past game where China was injured for about 6 minutes or so. I saw Shabalala going to China there, you know, was sitting, staying there, you know, watching, you know, the doctors, you know, busy with China there. Other players, you know, were scattered. There was only maybe one player that went to Nabi, you know. Do you think regrouping in terms of these games of this magnitude is important, or players can just do as they can? Because I feel it's like, you know, because of like, especially with Nabi, the language barrier and all that, he need to regroup and call them, or maybe they need to regroup each as players, because of, you know, they can't even hear each other. You know, 95,000 supporters are there. What's your take on that, Steve?
Thank you for that question. It shows you planning first and analysis from the bench and the players on the field of play.
Yeah.
The problem with Kaizer Chiefs is obviously the language barrier, that is crucifying them in so many games.
Mhm.
When Kaizer Chiefs brought in Nabi, they brought in a translator, which was, for me, was the biggest mistake that they've done. Kaizer Chiefs should have put in a local coach. They never should have let Zwane go. They should have kept Zwane next to that guy. So that culture, number one, you understand? Language, number two, was going to be translated to him directly, not to a third party. At this point in time, that guy, the only thing he knows how to do when situations are going bad is scream at referees. Now he's starting to scream at journalists because journalists are asking him questions that are uncomfortable, which have to do with what he's here to come and do. You understand? The guy was given 2-year contract, which is, for me, was shocking to say, how do you give, you know, your Kaizer Chiefs are in trouble. What's your plan? How do you give a coach 2 years? What is that coach going to do in 2 years' time? And you don't want to open the checkbook. So you are saying to this guy, in 2 years, you must bring glory back to the what you call it, to the fans. But yet, yeah, you can see now that the first year of the contract is expiring. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the players themselves, at this point in time, if the player needs to ask the coach something on the touchline, or that guy is coming from, he's speaking a different language, I'm speaking a different language. How do I go to the coach and say, as Mara coach, how do you do that? You can't. The mistakes of the boardroom of Kaizer Chiefs will haunt them for a very long time to come. Yes, they might win if they can win it on Saturday, good for them. But in the Confederation Cup, as my Leonard friend has put it, they're not going to manage because there it's tough. You understand? And also there, it's even worse. The language barrier also is going to kick in. Also, they can't communicate like us. Then up there, what are they going to do? So for me, I don't know who can put the board of Kaizer Chiefs down and say, guys, let's start from the scratch and just make sure that whichever coach comes in next, we pick the right coach. Somebody spoke about scouting at the moment. I don't know, because I think they brought a scouter from Sundowns, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Now, you bring in a guy who's used to going to South America and all over the world to go look for players. How do you support that guy? And I think, yes, the guy was touted and asked to come and join the team. But now, how do you continue doing your work in an environment where you are limited? Do you understand what I'm saying? So now, for me, it confuses me to say now, it's like you're taking an engine of a V8, you want to put it in a Mazda 323. How does that work? You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of work that needs to be done in the team. What you've just said now is so important. Most teams, that's what they do. If there's an injury, some goalkeepers, they fake injuries. The keeper, maybe there's got a sign that will say, hey, Mfana manje isikhathi ukuthi sikhulume. Then he sits down. Then they go quickly to the coach to say, hey, Mfana manje 1, 2, 3, you guys do this and this and this, and they change the formation or whatever, because the bench can see trouble more than you guys. But the players themselves also must be able to see with Maraiba Fit. That's Dove and Tuanada. It's swap. That's what soccer is all about. If you've played soccer, you know. You've been in the crowd and you see, hey, maybe you are playing number 2. Thina besidlala kudala kunabo 2 nabo 7 bengadlala ama-pivot and so forth. So le nana le njengoba ngidlala u2 le 11 iyangihlupha. Ngibuza untanga le ntanga uzongincedisa le ntwana le yangihlupha ngizoyishaya ngebhathu mara ngizothola i-red card, so ngona uzongincedisa sikwazi ukusolve le problem. You understand what I'm saying? That's what should be done. So your question is very, very, it's so important to understand, to a point where I feel that even when the referees give out, if you can look how they abuse the fourth official, the Kaizer Chiefs bench, it's not fun and it's not right, because now if the fourth official is sitting there, the referee is taking decisions, what must the what must the fourth official do? And at the same time, this guy speaking a language you don't understand. Fourth official, I say Natal, if you go to the stadium, you see these things that are happening, and it's not fair. But I hope in the new season, Kaizer Chiefs can sit down as the board and look at these things, and maybe even watch such programs and take heed and maybe just listen to what we are saying. Maybe they can take advice or not, I don't know, but at least just try and see if you can change one or two things. The other thing I want to mention, when they removed Gavin Hunt, I think that was the biggest mistake the Chiefs would have done, because not to take any more time. It depends what type of a coach you want in a team. If you are bringing Coach Nabi, for me, Nabi is not a building coach. If we are careful, if we can really look, Nabi is a coach who wants Mamelodi Sundowns, then he'll succeed. You understand? But if you bring him and you are saying he must build, he cannot. That's why he's failing this man, because he doesn't know what to do. Now, if you are taking a Kevin Hunt is a builder. He's built all his life. That's all he knows how to do, Kevin Hunt. Kevin Hunt, if you can give him Sundowns, I don't think he'll manage. He'll fail this man. But if you give him, if he can go back to Chiefs now and sit down and have a proper structure, Kevin Hunt can turn the team around. Give him a season or two. The third season, you will see magic, because that's who the coach is. So even when they go out there and look for a coach as a Chiefs, that's the things that they should be looking for and saying, what's the criteria? Yes, he's a winning coach, but how did he win, this coach? If you go and coach Al Ali even themselves, when they look for the coach, they look for Pitso Misimanis. They look for Nasser Nabis. Coaches, they know that, no, if you bring this coach and he's got material, he's going to just continue where we left off. And you cannot just take any other coach and put him there, because coaches are also important in that regard. Now you take a coach, he comes with all his technical stuff, then also you don't buy players. What are you saying? What are you doing? So I think even Chiefs themselves, guys, next season, they must just look at these aspects and try to get people who got football brains, who can assist to say, if you bring this type of a person, this is the results. So don't bring him because now you're going to confuse the guy. I mean, I feel sorry for that coach. If you look at that coach, guys, each and every game, for me, it's sad. I'm thinking even his family, maybe they are calling, say, I'm fit to boy. I call him because now, even what he did on Saturday, it's not called for. Professional deserve to be treated like, even if the journalist has asked the wrong question or asked the question you don't like, you can't just stand up and walk away. That's just utter disrespect on another level. But
yeah, no, thank you so much.
I hope you're not gonna say I'm talking too much.
No,
I
it's
want
okay.
to support the point of Prati, and also add to the question you asked earlier on about how a coach takes advantage of breaks in play and all that kind of thing. If you watch most of the Sundowns matches, they've mastered that, and also not only the coach but the players. I mean, I remember there was that match Sundowns beat Arrows 4, something like that, at Moripe. When it was 1-0 in the first half, I think it was around the 28th minute or the 30th minute. There was a moment in the match where I think Ronan felt that the team was not clicking properly. Because of the low block that was being played by Golden Arrows and trying to catch them on the counter. They couldn't penetrate them, they couldn't break them down. I think he felt that they needed to regroup. And then he sat down. And then he took the ball out. And then the medical people walked onto the pitch. And then the rest of the team went to the coach. They reorganized. When they came back, they scored 3 goals. So those are the dark arts that happens in a football match where when you have got senior players who have played consistently things like Champions League, you learn those kinds of things. I mean, you have seen so many times these North Africans who come here and they come, they catch on a counter, score 1, and then the rest of the match they are sitting on the floor. The rest of the match they are fighting with the ref. They are just trying to bully you, even if they are in South Africa. So those are the stuff that's the stuff that, like we're saying, I've noticed that it doesn't normally happen with this coach. And also I spoke to the Sundowns coach privately there some other time, and he said to me that in one of the matches he played close to 14 formations in one match, because you have to constantly change things around when you can see that you can't break a team down. When a bus is there, you have to move that bus, unfortunately, because when people park the bus, they are not breaking any FIFA rule. So those are the things that must happen. And as Brati has said, I think it goes back to what happens behind the scenes, what happens to profiling of teams, how big and quite strong is the support structure of the coach. These days you have players who are analyzing their team. You have got people who are analyzing the opposition. I've seen one day a club, a guy was analyzing the warm-up of the other team, just to try and figure that thing out. And then he was standing up there on top with a camera, with a drone, and all those kinds of things. And when the team went back to the dressing room, he was going downstairs to show them the warm-up of the other team on a laptop. We teams operate at that level now, and if you don't make those investments, the coach needs support with those kinds of things, and they cost money. But if you want to stay ahead of the game and do those kinds of things, especially if you play Champions League, those are the things that you need to do. So it's quite important that a coach must be able to be flexible in a match situation, because the demands of modern football are just too much. Where I think Coach Ulani some while back, he said that you're going to find a situation where the technical team members are more than the players. And he's going there. He even said in the not so distant future, you are going to find a situation where robotics gets more and more involved in trying to give information to the players, and the players must be smarter, because it's too much information. You must be able to absorb all the information. Can you imagine a young player who goes into a professional environment? You must listen to a fitness trainer, you must listen to an analyst, you must listen to this and that and that. It's too much information which you must process and still go and perform. So football is complex in that sense, and if you want to stay ahead, unfortunately, you have to acclimatize. And some of our clubs here at home, they just don't have the resources to be competing with that level. That's why you can see Sundowns is there, and the rest of the teams, maybe Pirates, that are trying to close the gap, is because of those kinds of things. Because if you want Sundowns, the technical team is very strong. I mean, maybe lastly, I think Esperance, when they came here last season, they were training at University of Pretoria. 3 buses went to training. The first big bus was for the players only. The second smaller bus was for the technical team. The third smaller bus was for the PR people and media and all those kinds of things. And those are the levels that you operate under, and the investments that must happen by the club owners. And so for a big club like Kaizer Chiefs, they need to aspire to operate at that level. At the moment, they are not quite there, unfortunately.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Bamasasi. And I'd like
And Bratawa, the other important thing also, which a lot of people don't realize, is ball boys. You need very, very good ball boys to be able to win a football match. There's that video clip of Chelsea where they scored a goal because of the quick thinking of a ball boy. In South Africa, our ball boys are sleeping there. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think they just need, those kid managers to go to them one by one, especially when they are leading. You'll see, the
only thing they know is to delay the match when they are leading. They don't know that there can be a very, very good weapon of bringing the ball back into play when you're attacking. And you can kill teams if you do those kinds of things. But that's my 2 cents.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Ramashazi. And to everyone, it doesn't mean when I ask someone a question and you want to jump in, you shouldn't, but you can just jump in, because I'm just asking random questions. And you might find that I'm asking someone a question that you would like me to ask you, and then you find it like you feel limited. But let's just talk about it too. So I'm gonna thank you so much.
Emma, before now and Matome jumps in, still on the issue of technical team and the performance analyst issue. I just wanted to know, especially from Mr. Mphatlele, with those Chiefs guys, because Gazerdin Nabi brought his more than 6 technical team members, and he found almost 4 guys who performance analysts as Kaizer Chiefs. So those guys have a say in Kaizer Chiefs team talk or stuff. Because you can see from Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns technical team, or those guys, they have a full say in the team, and they do their duties there. They perform. You can see when Pirates play at the stand. Normally, those guys they sit there with the media guys. You can see they are busy coaching and they communicate with the likes of Coach Mandaru over there from Orlando Pirates side, and also on Mamelodi Sundowns. You can see those guys, they're busy with their laptop and they're working and busy communicating with Coach Steve Gombela there on the bench. So I just want to know from Kaizer Chiefs side, that those three guys, do they have a say in the team, Mr. Matazi? You can clarify us on this one.
Yeah, I mean, under normal circumstances, they should have a say because the job is to offer, an extra pair of eyes to the coach. And I guess there must be qualified people. It didn't just pick up people from the streets. It must be people who are experts in their fields. When they have technical meetings, there must be roles that they are playing. Chiefs at the moment is a very tricky place to be at, man. I just also feel, I mean, even if you look at the players, and I've held this view quite strongly to say, if you look at a player like Mbu, I strongly believe that Mbu is a very, very, very gifted footballer. Unfortunately, because of the mediocrity that is there at the moment, the system is failing dismally to get the best out of him. Not only him, but other people. And also, it comes back to the issue of these people who work behind the scenes at the club. How or what are they doing to assist these players, to get the best out of these players? So, if it's just like if you go to a company where the culture is just not right and people are lazy and nobody's working and people just do as they wish. No matter how qualified you are or how good you are, you are likely to struggle because the environment is just not quite right. And I think they need to get the environment right. And I think also to a large extent, even in the office, because you still have the same people working in the office who have been there for the past 10, 15 years. Surely, as they say, the fish rose from the head, so you need to have a system overhaul and really try and have a new system, have a new way of doing things. The players you can see. I mean, today I was not there this morning, but I watched those videos especially from Gaston. You can see the guy is broken. I was even saying to people that I remember how good Castillo was when he got here. You could see that this guy is a footballer, but somehow they've just sort of they failed to get the best out of him, and it's a real shame. I mean, you look at Kamabila when he went there. Kamabila when he went there, though he was a little bit older, but he could still give you a season or two proper stuff, and he didn't. And so it's that thing of saying that maybe the system does not get the best out of the people. And coach, he's got his own people there. These are the guys that he came with, and if he doesn't succeed with the people that he came with, then serious questions must be asked. But for their sake, I really hope that they finish the season strong, qualify for top 8. I mean, as we see the year now, with 2 matches to go, there's no guarantee that Chiefs will finish the top 8. And it will really, really be a huge embarrassment if they were to go 2 seasons in a row without finishing in the top 8. So there's a lot that needs to happen there. For their sake, I hope that they get it right. I mean, like you see, Iniesta, we're always around Sundowns and Pirates, and you see that what happens there. I think they sure have got their own problems, but from a distance, you can see that the systems are in place. People are running around, but you can see what they're doing. It's not just headless chickens. People don't know what they're doing, but Sundowns, as much as there's a lot of people that Sundowns behind the scenes, but you can see that they're working and they're supporting the coach. And the coach came, people left, and some stayed that he believed that they should stay, and the system is working. At Pirates, the same thing. Jose Ribeiro looks like a very, very organized guy. He doesn't talk much, but you can see he galvanizes the people around him, and the things are working. Even though also for them, they do have got a lot of problems behind the scenes that are unfolding there. which I believe is partly the reason why he's leaving, because he just can't take the stuff that's happening there anymore. But when it comes to the core business of what they are there for, the guy delivered and you can't fault him. So Nabi, if he's there next season, obviously it's going to be a lot of work to do, you know. And for their sake, I hope they get it right somehow.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pramaklasi. Thank you, Iniesta, for that question. Just I think we need to take this opportunity, you know, after Neo and Madume, you know, to ask Pramaklasi, you know, any question that you would like to ask, so that, you know, you can, like, he's one of the journalists that, you know, we respect big time, you know, here in South Africa. And, you know, this is an opportunity for us, you know, to ask anything, even if it's not about, you know, the Soweto Derby, just maybe for the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and we can just ask anything that you like yourself to know, or maybe even our viewers at home to know. Now, let me come to you. Looking at the history, like the current Nedbank Cup competition, Kaizer Chiefs, you know, have considered only 1 goal against Mamelodi Sundowns. They scored 12 goals in this tournament. And when you go to the PSL, to the league, they have considered, I think, 31 goals, and, you know, scored only 24 goals. Do you think their run in this tournament will motivate them going to the game on Saturday in terms of scoring and conceding less goals?
Thanks, Mabhida. Yeah, you know, the whole saying of, you know, league form doesn't translate to cup form. You've got a history of many teams that, you know, have done very well in the league but have done poorly in the cup, and vice versa. So again, this is another illustration of that, because again, the approach to these kind of setups of these formats are very different. And, you know, speaking towards, like, also what you asked with Bati in terms of the type of manager that Coach Nabi is, you know, I see him more of as a system tactical manager more than a man manager. You know, you've got, and that's why certain players can adapt to such a thing where they're given stringent, rigid tactics approaching into a game. And probably that's why it worked against certain teams within the Nedbank Cup, because they were able to emulate those instructions going forward. And maybe that's why they don't need to be then during in-game switch things up. Although I don't believe that they wouldn't just leave it as is, as much as we don't see any talking amongst it. But certainly, I think Coach Nabi has hit the nail on the head with regards to that front. Unlike Orlando Pirates, I think Jose is a very good man manager, and hence why we see, you know, the young players, you know, bear the fruits of that kind of management. So going into this kind of final again, with how they've also had the run in the Nedbank Cup, and then also looking at in the league where they only conceded 16 goals. It's only Mamelodi Sundowns who have conceded less with 13. And I mean, Mamelodi Sundowns are known for, you know, being able to hold the fort in terms of their defenses and during the league. But looking at Orlando Pirates, I think they've done that well. So once again, unfortunately, it's a league that was in the league. Coming into the cup, it's very different, but it definitely will translate coming into this final and seeing what those what Kaizer Chiefs can do specifically in this one. I think it will be very interesting. You know, I looked at Nova's game on Saturday, and it was actually quite heartwarming more than anything else, because it's like, wow, actually, you know, if you don't put the pressure, I don't know if he was protected or what during that game, but he was able to sort of dictate play in a way in that midfield. And as I alluded to last week, that, you know, this game, unfortunately, is not a game that's going to be won by midfield. It's a game that was going to be won through mistakes, and that came to pass. So once again, I think going into this Nedbank Cup final, where stakes are higher, as we mentioned earlier on in the episode, that again, it's going to take rigid, stringent tactics that are going to protect these players for them to emulate it through. And whether they're out of position or not, I think it can still just hold on to this final. Although it'll be very interesting to hear the lads' predictions coming into this one, because I'm still very on the fence on how it's gonna go out. But yeah.
Ranel, the other interesting thing about this match is that Pirates are playing Golden Arrows there tomorrow. They have left today and they're staying there, which means they will be there until the match. So they're going to spend the whole week preparing for the match there. Now, if I was Chiefs, I will leave tomorrow or Wednesday, so that I'm also going to train at sea level there, not at altitude here in Johannesburg. But again, it goes back to the people around the coach who are advising him, who knows these kinds of things, that Pirates will, naturally have an advantage over Chiefs because of acclimatization. I know they've been there so many times, but this is just one time where you need to get your preparations, your planning to a T, if you want to have that little bit of extra edge. It may look nothing or ridiculous, but it may favor Pirates if you really come to think of it. If you speak to aspects, they will tell you that Pirates will have that little bit of an extra edge because they have been at an area which is different to what Chiefs will be experiencing here at altitude in Johannesburg. So those are the things that behind the scenes, the people who are with the coach will have to advise. I know it costs money, but you have got to do it. You don't have to go with the whole team. I mean, I'm sure the coach knows the 20 players that will be part of the matchday squad. Don't have to take everybody else. The rest of the guys might come on Friday or Saturday morning. But those that are in the matchday squad must go there and prepare. And also, those who will not be traveling, the DDC coaches and all those kind of guys can work with them here because they can't sit there and do nothing, So those are the things that must happen if you really want to have an advantage over the other team in these type of situations. If they are watching, leave tomorrow, so that you are in Durban for the whole week. It may work in your favor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Parmahlatsi. It will also help them acclimatize there. As we know, with at least the sea like the coast is different from the inland stream. Matume, thank you so much for joining us, brother. Tell me, man, this cup, it has been dubbed the underdog cup. Normally, it is won by the so-called smaller teams. Remember Kaizer Chiefs lost to TS Galaxy a few years ago. Baroga FC, I think they've won it also against Pirates. Right now, we know as much as there's no underdog in the derby, but we know with the Kaizer Chiefs right now, they are sort of underdogs. Do you think Uti going to that game, Kaizer Chiefs will use that to their advantage?
Yeah, they might try to use it as an advantage, but that team owner that cup, it's not gonna be easy. They own it, no. And then one other thing that I'm worried about is Kaizer Chiefs coach. I don't know Kaizer Chiefs coach can be a good reader when it comes to game. I mean, Oka level like game Chiefs against Pirates last week. He could have saved the cross. I mean, cross he could have saved. He saw the cross on a problem. He's struggling on the left side. But he leave him until he get the red card. I mean, it was questionable. Or he didn't see what we are seeing now as supporters or as fans. Because if you are a coach, I mean, you have to protect your players. I mean, I was worried about that. And then when it comes to the issue, Tabo, that assistant coach is not a translator, is an assistant coach. I think it's number one assistant coach, Yanapi. Umikiste as an assistant coach. But because of barrier of languages, then he's also a translator as well. I think Kaizer Chiefs can surprise Pirates on this one because normally the teams that are not playing well, they used to win this kind of cup. But we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Matume. And Neo mentioned that when you're not performing well, in the league, you sort of win cups. We've seen with Magesi also, even I think Marumo Gallants back then, they did that also, to our guests. Thank you so much to our guests, for,
I'll definitely be back. I think on Monday let's do it again. On Monday we'll talk about the Nedbank.
Definitely. Lastly, gents, I'll start with Matume. Quick one, your score prediction before I go to Iniesta.
I think it will be tough one. Maybe 2-1 at the end of the day, favor Kaizer Chiefs.
I'm a coach for life.
Matuma is always biased.
Nithi neti mara nithi yababa ndoda kumele nje akhuluma into ayibonayo ukuthi izokwenzeka. Let me come to you, Rostivo. Your score prediction. Don't be biased now.
I'm obviously going to be biased. 3-1.
Yeah.
3-1.
Pirates 1, Kaizer Chiefs. It looked bigger for saying Naturana. We were here. Here's a 1 goal.
Exactly.
Dupree will score.
Number one. Neo, your score prediction. I know when you always say Chiefs will lose.
Last time I said it was going to be a draw, but in any case, yeah, with all the elements that was also put today, it makes it even harder.
There's no fans here.
I'm sorry, but it feels like, because I feel like Pirates were in second gear in that match, we're going to see the best Pirates. I feel like it's a 3-0.
3-0 to Pirates.
3.
No supported in favor.
No, get a course, but a course Lila native.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Deo. Iniesta, before your score prediction, you wanted to say something?
No, I was just asking you were no supported TBF. Right?
Oh, okay. No, it's a Kaizer Chiefs fan.
Yeah, the last time I made a score prediction, I lost a lot of people. Even my family got angry at me. I said Chiefs will lose 2-1 against Sundowns in the semi-final. So I even lost more than 10K followers on social media because most of my followers are from Chiefs. So this time I don't want to lose people again. Chiefs will take it, man. I go with Kaizer Chiefs. I don't want people to be angry at me. I believe, to be honest, it's just what for Pirates. And obviously, Kaizer Chiefs, they're going through this game as underdogs. And obviously, Pirates on the paper, they are the favorites to win the game. We've seen the football, I know, therefore. So I believe it's going to be a tough one. But Chiefs will take it, man. It's either penalties or guy extra time, but Chiefs will win it.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. Pramashatsi, normally someone who fixes pipes, water, what they say is a plumber. And someone who's on the fence, who do you call that someone?
Actually, I don't know what you call it. It's a fence or maybe, I don't know.
Are you on the fence?
The Soweto Derby, Pirates Sundowns, Chiefs Sundowns are very, very difficult football matches. They take a lot of the players. Sometimes they don't go according to form book. I mean, you remember what happened recently at what was it at Loftus? It's just I mean, the other day at FNB with Pirates and Sundowns.
Yeah.
My thing about the match has always been what a lot of people always say, that the team that goes into the match not doing well is the one that usually wins. But this is a cup final, and Pirates over the last while have shown that they know how to play cup. A cup final is like a tournament. When you are in a tournament where you play 3 matches in the group stages,
you
need players who know how to play a tournament. You win your first match, confidence high. You try and win your second match. If you can't win your second match, you draw, knowing that even 4 points can take you through. You must know how to do this thing. Even a final, I mean a cup final. Pirates have done it. They've won cup finals. And Pirates win cup finals, you know.
Yeah.
But Chiefs, what is that thing that Rene said about Chiefs, that God is a Chiefs supporter?
Yeah.
Chiefs, they've got this of coming out of nowhere and turn the tables. If there's one team that we must be scared of, it's the Chiefs in the high stakes. They can embarrass you. But having said that, on the evidence of past results, I just don't think that they will do it this time. I'll go with Pirates. I think Pirates will go through. Maybe extra time to give us a little bit more than we bargained for entertainment-wise. And I just hope it's a beautiful football match. These two teams have given us Iniesta in Bargidi Porta. So they've given us half-cooked stuff for many times. I just hope it's a good match. Yeah, they entertain us. If it's a good match, you know, we'll be happy. But finals are finals, you know. Players don't want to make mistakes, and we've heard that a lot from players. You know, don't want mistakes, and we're casual, and you know, you take too long to get into it, and you know, so excuse my friends, there's too much foreplay, you know. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. It should be good. Durban doesn't disappoint. And yeah, these boys must just go out there and entertain us, you know, and then we'll see. We'll come back here on Monday, and I don't know who will still be crying. The only thing I can say in a parting shot, now, Branel and Bratabo, you must eat at 2:30 on Saturday.
Definitely.
You are full, so that you are ready to sleep, whatever happens. Yeah. Sometimes I say it's easy to lose in the semi-final, but losing in a final can be the pits.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it is. But yeah, hopefully it's a good game.
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah, I'd like to take this opportunity.
They must ask Bramacho Magis. The last time at Blue Fontaine.
Oh yeah. Hey,
That one was a mess. That one.
Yeah.
Even Pirates at Orlando Stadium, they got 3-0 before half time. So yeah.
Yeah, but that one of Bloemfontein was a massive embarrassment.
Yeah,
Big teams big team doesn't lose to small teams like that in the final. You beat a small team in the final.
Exactly.
You don't play around with small teams in the final.
Exactly. No.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I'd like to take this opportunity and thank all of you, you know, for making sure that, you know, you sacrifice. You know, there's something that is very important. I always say, which, you know, you can buy someone a gift, you can buy them whatever, but then, you know, giving them your time, something that you never regain. So I'd like to take this opportunity, gents, you know, to thank you for, you know, availing yourself. I know you were supposed to be sleeping by now, but then at least you made your time, you made sure it looks like you are with us here. And I'd like to thank you so much, Bramatase. I really, you know, thank you so much, you know, for making sure that, you know, you visit us here. I know the guys, you know, they try to grind you, but you were ungrindable.
No, they were nice.
Yeah.
They didn't ask the questions that the journalists were asking Navi there.
Yeah.
Tough questions.
That's great.
Where
can the viewers catch you? I know you are also having your own platform. Where can they catch you?
Yeah, on almost everything is just Bramasatse on Twitter, on TikTok, on Insta, and on Facebook. Yeah, and then on YouTube is Prime Sports with Masatse. I also have got a show on Times Live and Soweto Live, the Arena Sports Show. I also do a podcast with Velile on Africa Football Connect.
Yeah.
So yeah, we tend to be busy.
Very busy. Thank you so much. Iniesta, where can our viewers catch you?
Oh, on Facebook, it's Ezekiel Iniesta, and then on Instagram, Iniesta08, TikTok, Iniesta08, Twitter, Iniesta08.
Thank you so much for featuring.
And I'm still not convinced with this Iniesta. I want to see him play. I'm not sure. I want to see the clips.
So thank you so much for featuring. To our viewers at home who haven't subscribed, just click the subscribe button and help us grow our page. Thank you so much for making sure that you support us. We also have our website www.sharpi.com. If you want breaking news, just visit our website. Thank you so much for it.